Okay, stories about how humans came to be. Hawaii is also interesting because it has quite a number of different religions and therefore different creation stories. It's not one homogeneous culture. So one of the creation stories that a number of Hawaiian families, including mine, follow is that the first powers that be, and some people call them human-like beings, but the first powers were Wakea and Papa. Wakea meaning something like Sky Father, and Papa meaning something like Earth Mother. And when they got together, Papa gave birth to the islands, at least to some of the islands. And then they had a daughter, and Wakea thought she was pretty good looking, so Wakea mated with the daughter, who has several names, but the names are associated with stars, her name, and she gave birth to several other islands. Okay. And then after the birth of the islands, then came, with the birthing of other children, then came finally the production of human beings. And so that's one of the stories, that they came originally from Wakea and Papa. Other families with different traditions have included Wakea and Papa as people within their family line. Okay? And this was commonly done too, to incorporate somebody to build up your genealogy. So they had some of those. So some of the other creation stories start from another religious system, which was based on Kane and Kanaloa. And in that case, it was Kane and Wahine who gave birth to the first human beings. And that's why we still have the names of those gods. Kane today also means man, and Wahine means woman. And originally it was Kane and Wahine, or Kane and Hina, who were the gods. Then later another god comes, Ku. And Ku his wife becomes Hina. Hina was the most popular one. Everybody loved Hina. And then they gave birth to the first human beings. And then there was the creation story of Haumea. Haumea, a very ancient earth goddess figure in Polynesia. And when she gave birth to different children out of different parts of her body. Sounded a lot like Jupiter. Okay? And so she gave birth to different children out of the parts of her body, who then gave birth to human beings. Now there's some stories that sound very Christian-like, and that's because these stories were written after the Christians came and started having a strong influence. So you have a story of where in the oldest stories, Kane and Kanaloa were great friends. Kane, god of the mountains, Kanaloa, the god of the ocean. And they drank ava together and traveled together and had a good old time. In the later stories with the Christian influence, Kanaloa became a type of Satan, which is not Hawaiian. And Kane then became like an image of God, the Christian God. So Kane created man out of the red dirt of the earth. And so man began. And then Kanaloa tried to do the same, but his human being kept crumbling away, and he got very upset. Okay? So the Hawaiians often creatively elaborated on stories from other places that they would hear. So there's a number of stories. Then there's a famous one, which is the Kumulipo. The Kumulipo doesn't exactly say how, because it goes through a chance of a whole period of night, or darkness, or void, not exactly void, because stuff was happening. But you can read it as if it were talking about almost a kind of evolution, where different animals were created and different pairs of things were created and different pairs of things, and all this was still night. And finally day happened and man appeared. Doesn't say exactly how.